Welcome to DeFi Crypto today. Our topic today is time to be your own bank, part 6. Yes, there's more and more new fun stuff we can do now. Topic today is going to be related to Spartacus. But first, let's review very quickly the strategy that we use in this series. If you've watched the other videos, you're probably familiar with it. But for those that are watching the episode 6 before the first 5 episodes, we're going to do a recap, and I highly encourage you to watch the other 5 episodes. All the links are in the description below. Okay, this way it's going to make a lot more sense to you, and I answer a ton more questions about the strategy in those other 5 episodes. And you can also see other places where you can use, you can be your own bank. Okay, so that's the fun part. Okay, so to recap, we have assets we never want to sell because we like them so much and we think that they're going to grow in value in the future, and that's why we don't want to sell them. Okay, we're not trading these assets. We hold them because they grow in value. Okay, this could be Bitcoin, for instance. Over the years, Bitcoin grows in value considerably. It could be also the wrap memo from Wonderland, the Ohm token from Olympus DAO. Those are all tokens that grow in value over time. Okay, so we buy them and we hold them for the long term. We want to keep them for 6 months, a year, or more than 1 year, because we feel that they're going to grow in value. Now that's all nice and sweet, but as they grow in value, there's a lot of value locked in that asset because we don't want to sell it. So many times we feel, it would be nice if we could get some liquidity out of this so that we can make other investments, or we want to cash out without having to sell the asset, which has also the extra advantage of being tax-free. If you don't sell your asset and get a very high capital gain on it, you're not going to be taxed on that capital gain because it's not realized. And when you borrow against an asset, borrowing is not a taxable event. So you could theoretically borrow on a regular basis, okay, from an asset that keeps growing in value continuously like this. Every month you could borrow a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, if the value of the asset went up, and you never have to pay taxes on that borrowing. Okay, those are very important aspects of this strategy, okay, and you have to keep that in mind, and that's why we're doing this. Otherwise, what's the point, right? So that's because there are several advantages. That's why we're doing it. All right, so we have assets that we don't want to sell, but typically they don't earn any yield. So we deposit the assets to earn some yield. So we get income out of this. Then we wrap the yield-bearing assets. When we wrap them, the earnings from the yield are typically not taxable. Okay, and we can use them as collateral. And when we use them as collateral, we can borrow stable coins against that. And this is the borrowing we talked about a minute ago. And what do we do with this borrowing? Anything we want. We can buy more assets to make the loop again, or we cash out. We want to convert the stable coins to fiat. We want like US dollars, euros, Japanese yen, whatever you want. That's fine too. You can do that too. And not taxable. Okay, I have to emphasize this because a lot of people get lost and they keep asking me this question. Is this taxable? It's not taxable? So let's clarify this. A loan is not a taxable event. Okay, if you sell your asset after it gained in value, that's a taxable event. You're going to have to pay income tax on the capital gains in most jurisdictions. Okay, always check with your accountant or tax lawyer or tax expert. Okay, because the laws change from country to country. Okay, so enough of the recap. Let's have a look at the strategy we're going to talk about today. So, we're talking about the Spartacus example. Okay, we're going to see Spartacus in a moment. It's a new ohm fork, an Olympus Dow fork on the Phantom network. And it has a lot of interesting features, and that's what we're going to see today. So, basically, we're going to use the same strategy that we just talked about a minute ago, but using the SPA token from Spartacus. So, by itself, the SPA token earns no yield. So, we have to stake it to earn some yield, and it becomes the S SPA, or stake SPA. Then we can wrap the S SPA as wrap stake SPA, WS SPA, on the Spartacus protocol directly. I'll show you where that is. Then we can use the wrap stake SPA as collateral on Spartacadabra. Spartacadabra is the lending protocol that was designed by the people from Spartacus. And that's why the names are a little bit similar. And basically they're copying the Abracadabra protocol, and that's why they're using this funny name. Okay, if you're familiar with Abracadabra, well, you're going to be going to feel right at home because it looks almost the same. So then once we have a collateral, we can borrow stable coins. In this case, the stable coin is called Lambda, and we can borrow it against a collateral. Then we use Lambda, we can swap it for something else, so we can swap it for wrap memo, the new GOM or GOM token that came out a couple of days ago, and the stake SPA token. Those are examples of tokens that are yield bearing and that you could use again as collateral to get even more stable coins later. So, and that's how you can complete the loop several times like this. Of course, if you have a tiny investment, you cannot complete the loop many times, but let's say you start with $100,000, you can do the loop a few times. Okay. All right, so let's have a look at it. So this is what, let's go to the main page. I should have started with that. All right. This is the Spartacadabra landing page, okay? To see the app that we just saw, you click here. Get Charm, don't use it. It's not that useful anymore. I'll show you where to get the Charm token. The Charm token is the governance token for Spartacadabra. Right now it doesn't do much, but soon it's going to be very interesting, and I'll explain that later. And here we have the documentation, which we're going to take a look at. Okay, so if we go back here, right now you can only borrow on the Phantom network, and there are only 2 vaults at the moment. But let's go into documentation. If we look at the documentation, okay, they explain what Spartacadabra is about. Okay, so you can wrap your S SPA tokens and summon some Lambda. You swap your Lambda into other stable coins from USDT to USDC, and then you do what you want. Okay, that's sweet. Now look at this. You're going to be able to use wrapped staked ohm, but now these are going to be changed for GOM. Okay, wrap memos, and you're going to be able to summon Lambda. So a lot of people have been asking where they can get stable coins out of their wrap memos, because on Abracadabra they always run out of stable coins. They always run out of MIMS, right? Well, they might run out of MIMS on Spartacadabra as well, but at least now you have 2 choices. Okay, so if one doesn't have any, maybe the other one will have some. At the moment, neither of them have any stable coin available for for the wrapped assets, but you can still borrow on other assets. Okay, so that's what we're going to perform today. I'm going to actually show you step by step how to borrow lambda from an asset that we're going to deposit as collateral. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. All right, so we understand lambda. Now let's introduce charm. Charm is the governance token for Spartacadabra. So at some point in the near future, the token holders that have charm will be able to vote, okay, on the governance of Spartacadabra. Not only that, but you can receive, you can stake your charm and get the S charm to receive fees, okay? The fees that are generated from the interest and the liquidation fee and the borrowing fee, all that good stuff, okay, is going to be distributed to the S charm holders. So if you stake your charm on Spartacadabra, I'll show you where that is, you could earn some extra yield from that, okay? Now here's a little bit of alpha for you. The charm token is super duper cheap right now, okay? Now, this is a bet on the success of Spartacadabra. We don't know if it's going to be successful or not, but it looks good so far. So if it becomes very successful, the charm token is going to go up quite a bit, and it's going to earn income on top of that, okay? So keep that in mind, okay? Maybe put a little bit of money in charm tokens and see if you can make a big profit next year. This is to hold long term. You're not gonna trade this thing overnight and become a millionaire, okay? It starts tiny. It's a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a cent per token, but eventually it might grow to a cent. And maybe, who knows, in a few years, maybe up to $1. Who knows, right? It's a bet on the success of the Spartacadabra protocol, okay? If you think it's going to be successful, like I do, you're going to buy yourself a charm token, like I did. But no advice here, okay? I'm just giving you some alpha, and you do what the hell you want with it. Okay? I don't know if it's going to be good or not. Okay? I have no idea. I hope it is going to be good in the future, but I have no guarantee. I don't know. Maybe they're not going to be successful. Maybe they will. Okay? Don't forget, they're going to have a lot of competition. Hector DAO is going to open up their own lending protocol very soon. So there might be a fight between the two. Who knows? For me, personally, I like competition. So the more lenders, the better. Okay, we have more options, and probably they're going to come up with better products and maybe better protocols, and that's going to be easier to use or cheaper to use, whatever. We'll see. All right, so yeah, you can also do some yield farming with charm and so on. We'll have a very quick look at that. We're not going to dive into the yield farming because I want to demonstrate step by step how to borrow. All right, so this is where we're going to do it. Now, most of you are interested in this one. And of course, that's the one that has a single dollar available to borrow at the moment, because the 4 millions that were issued yesterday just vanished in a snap. Okay? So we're hoping that the Spartacadabra people are going to replenish this and put a lot more money here that we could borrow. But at the moment, if we have a lot of phantom tokens that we want to hold on to and borrow against, we can do that. That's what we're going to do. And that's also an interesting proposition, because the phantom network is growing super fast. So the more TVL goes into the phantom network, the more useful the phantom token becomes, and the pricier it gets, okay, over time. So again, it's a long-term bet on the success of the phantom network. I think it's going to be successful, and that's why I hold some phantom, and that's why I'm going to use it here to demonstrate the borrowing. Okay, so we're going to do that in a moment. But let's look at the rest of the stuff here, and we're going to come back and finish with this. Okay, so there's a farm section. Okay, you can create yourself a liquidity pair, lambda 2 pool, which you can get here, which is done on curve. Okay, I'm not going to do that. Okay, there's also a charm USDC LP token that you can get from I believe Spooky, sorry. You can get it from Spooky Swap, and you could earn an APY of 228%, which is not bad. Okay, the other one, the Lambda 2 pool, gives you 26%. It's okay, it's not a bad rate, but you know, nothing out of the ordinary. Okay, so if you have some charm tokens, you might want to deposit them in here. Okay, and it's gonna earn you more charm. Okay, so that's an option. So there's the Lambda 2 pool. I believe it's the same that I just showed you. Yeah, so here you can deposit Lambda, DAI, and USDC. It's going to create a triplet in the liquidity pool. And they use this so that there's liquidity when you want to swap. Okay, so that's the main use of this. If you deposit in here, don't expect to make a huge return on curve itself. If you look here at the root. Okay, where's Lambda? Lambda, maybe we have to open up here. There's several pools. These are all pools that you could invest in on the Phantom network on Curve. Curve is super popular. It's a huge protocol with over $20 billion. So, and it's quite safe. It's been audited several times and so on. Okay, where's Lambda? I thought it was around here. Oh, Lambda pool. There we go. So it's not earning an amazing rate at the moment. I'm hoping that's going to improve. Maybe they're going to add bonus tokens in there at some point, because I know that Phantom is giving bonus tokens to developers once they reach a certain size and so on. So that might happen. But right now, I'm not very excited about 0.06%. That reminds me of my local bank. But this pool is mostly designed to provide liquidity so that people can swap. And that's the first pool. There are going to be other pools, and it's going to get better and better. This just started yesterday, okay? So don't expect the moon in one day. All right. So we can close this. We don't need it right now. All right. So let's start from the beginning. If we are on Spartacus, okay, maybe we bought some SPA tokens and maybe we staked them, okay, like I did. I've got some SPA tokens staked here, okay. Now that's all fine and sweet, but let's imagine, okay, that Spartacadabra over here in the borrow section. Let's imagine for a second that there's money here to borrow. Okay, so I've got my SPA tokens. I could go here and click on this here, wrap S SPA. Okay, that's the same as SPA here. Now, first, before I would do that, I would make sure that I have all these 3 tokens added to my MetaMask. So let's say I'm adding the wrap stake SPA. Okay, like this. Then you can add the token. Yeah, actually, I already did wrap it. Oh, yeah. You see what happens? It's a little bit confusing because this is the total of staked and wrapped stake tokens put together. So if you have some tokens that are wrapped and some tokens that are just staked and not wrapped, they would appear all bundled up in here. Okay, so my tokens are already wrapped. Okay, as we just saw here. I'll show you again. If we go to the bottom, right here. I already wrapped my tokens. Why? Because I could save on taxes with this, and whenever there's stable coins available to borrow on Spartacadabra, then I can do it. Okay, so it's fast. Okay, so just demonstrate here. So this is the screen. Let's assume that you've got some stake SPA. You need to approve first, and then there's going to be a button that says wrap. Okay. Now there's another way to get wrapped stake SPA. So we go here on Spooky, and you could swap whatever token you want, and you go here, and if you type WS, you notice you have wrapped stake SPA. Isn't that nice? So here you can save time. Okay, you can let's say you've got a ton of phantom tokens or any other token that are listed in there, USDC, USDT, whatever, and you say, okay, I want that wrap stake SPA. I don't want to go to the Spartacus protocol and buy the SPA and then stake it and then wrap it. You know, it's several steps for nothing, and you're paying gas all the way for nothing. So instead of wasting time and gas, you can just go here, okay, and you could swap your phantom for wrap stake SPA in a single operation. You don't even need to go to the Spartacus website. It's all done for you. Okay, so we're not going to do that right now, and there's no point because we cannot borrow against it. But we're going to borrow against phantom tokens. So let's go back here. And as we can see, there's $155,000 worth of lambda that we could borrow. So let's do that. Now let's remember that we have to pay a 5% interest. That's APY. So it's compounding. And there's a liquidation fee of 12.5%. So if we borrow too much and the price of the phantom token drops considerably, we could get liquidated and we have to pay a 12.5% fee. So we're losing the drop of the phantom token plus another 12% plus the interest. So there's not going to be much left. So unless you really want to get liquidated, try to avoid that. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, so if you're familiar with the Abracadabra website, it looks almost the same. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, my first time using this interface. There's no wrapping button for Phantom, but it's no problem. We can go back to Spooky and wrap our Phantom right there. So let's do that. Go back to Spooky. And what we're going to do is type W, and then we see wrap phantom. So let's add that to my wallet because I don't have that yet. Okay, so we have wrap phantom, we add a token, we select that. So now we have regular phantom and we have wrap phantom, and I want to wrap 100 of them. So they're the same price, so it's 100 for 100. So we wrap, and MetaMask wakes up. And we confirm. So transactions processing, and we should get our wrap token in a minute. Would have been nice to have a button to wrap it directly on Spartacadabra. Hopefully they're listening. Sometimes developers. Anyway, all right. Let's go back here. Let's refresh so that it knows I've got some wrap phantom now. Okay, so let's add some lambdas. Okay. It found it. Okay, so now we can borrow up to 70% of the value of the wrap phantom. I never like to borrow the maximum. Why? Well, it's only a 30% price drop. Markets are very volatile. You know, it could be a 50% price drop, whatever. I want to feel safe enough that I can sleep at night and not worry about, am I going to get liquidated? So, and especially lately, the markets have been bearish, and Bitcoin went down quite a bit. Now it's up a little bit, and you know, the market sentiment is very. There's a lot of fear in the market right now. Okay, so I'd rather play it safe and borrow a lot less. Now, the thing that I don't quite like right now is that I don't know if this safe light here works. Because I tested it a little bit earlier, and doesn't matter what button I choose, it always stays green like this. And even if I go custom, I have to go over 70%. Like if I type 70, and it's difficult to see when I type, it's black on gray. See, if I type 70%, 75%, it gives you only medium. I don't know, is that correct? Okay, maybe it's a bug. I'm not sure. I haven't found out about it yet. I would have to investigate. Okay, so anyway, personally, I would never go to the maximum. Okay, even if it says safe here, I don't trust the little green light telling me it's safe, because it doesn't look safe to me. Okay, actually we could compare with Abracadabra, because they have a very similar pool on the Phantom network. We can also borrow some rep. We can also use collateral as rep Phantom. So let's have a look here. All right. See here, we could use Phantom automatically, and it would wrap it automatically, but we cannot do that on Spartacadabra. All right. So if we fake that we're going to borrow on Abracadabra, I'm not going to do it here. I just want to test the buttons here. See, 70%. This is the same token. Okay. This is wrapped Phantom, but now on Abracadabra, and 70%, it says red, high risk. Okay, it doesn't, it warns you here. Here, medium risk at 50% and safe at 25%. Somehow I trust these lights a lot more than those on Spartacadabra. I think it's a bug. Okay, the protocol is brand new. Brand new. I don't know if anybody else noticed it. I would have to check on Discord. I didn't check yet. I'll check later. But anyway, this is important, okay? Don't borrow the maximum. It's very, very risky, okay? 70% is high risk. Why it's high risk? It's likely that the price of the Phantom token is gonna drop by 30%, okay? It's likely. So there's a good chance you could get liquidated. Unless you don't care. If you don't care about getting liquidated and you say, I'll just take the tax loss, not a problem. Okay, whatever, do what you want. Okay, but personally, I would stay around here. Okay, maybe I could go a little bit higher than 25%, 30%, maybe 35%, something like that. If we test that theory, let's do 35%, it's still green. How about 40? Still green. 45%, still green. Okay, so all right, we know that 50% is yellow and 45% is green. So you have the choice between 0 and 45%. Abracadabra thinks it's safe. That doesn't mean it's safe. Okay, it's just an indication. Okay, it's always possible for the price of Phantom to drop 90%. Just look at the chart here. This is the Phantom token. Okay. Now let's say we look for over a year. When did it start? Yeah. So from December last year, it was how much was it? It was about 2 cents. Okay. Now it's $1.60 at the moment. So look at the price fluctuations on this thing in the last few weeks. Okay, If you bought it here and you borrowed the maximum here, you're liquidated way before it goes all the way down here. Okay, so keep that in mind. It's always possible for this token to drop even more. Okay, so plan ahead. Think about that before you do your borrowing. Okay, that's why I always tell people stay in the safe zone. If they allow you to borrow 70%, well, borrow less than half of that, 30% or 35%, okay? That's a lot safer. It's still not 100% safe, but it's better than having a high risk. All right. Okay. So now that we are aware that the green button here stays green forever, let's go with 25%. Okay, I want to play it safe. I don't want to get liquidated. Okay, so this means that out of my 100 phantom tokens, I could borrow 39.38 lambdas. So it's around $39, give or take. Okay, we could change leverage if we wanted to. This is the looping system that was created by Abracadabra. So what does this do? It borrows and then buys more phantom tokens and borrows again if you do like more than one loop. Okay, so let's say you do 3 loops. Okay, so the line is green. Well, maybe green all the way. Okay, it becomes red. So at this point, we consider it risky, yellow, medium, 4, okay, 3. 3 loops is not considered too risky, okay? So basically what you do is that you borrow once, that's the first X, okay? You buy $39 worth of phantom tokens, you redeposit them as ref phantom, and then you're going to borrow again 25% of the new amount that you borrow, and you're going to buy again more phantom tokens, redeposit them as ref phantom, and then you're going to borrow again 25% on the new collateral that keeps getting added. The thing though that you have to keep in mind, and they're not showing the values here unfortunately, on Abracadabra you see a lot more detail. This one doesn't show all the details. But basically, the first time you borrow 25%, it's a large amount. And then you borrow a lot less on the second loop, and on the third loop, even less, okay? Because you're borrowing 25% of the amount that you just borrowed, okay? So basically, you start with 100%, which is your collateral. You have 25%. Then the second loop, you borrow 25% of 25%. So that's not too much. And then you borrow 25% on the third loop of the quarter of 25%. So it's not much, especially since we're starting with just 100 phantom tokens. 3 loops is not even worth the trouble. So maybe you do 2 loops, and even then, okay. You can also perform that by hand if you want to. Here, I did not check if you, when you get liquidated, if they take all your collateral when you use the leverage, as they do on the Abracadabra. We can check quickly. In here, so we'll borrow. Okay, are they describing this? I don't think they are. So there's not enough documentation to tell us right now. All right. If they use the same technique that is used on Abracadabra, when you use leverage like this, there's a good chance that if you get liquidated, they take 100% of your collateral, because they have to use a flash loan to pay off the debt. Okay? And that costs money and so on. So they basically, if you get liquidated, when you select this button here, change leverage, and if you get liquidated, you lose 100%. I'm guessing right now because it's not documented on Spartacadabra. But if they use the same thing that's used on Abracadabra, that's how they do it on Abracadabra. This is to be confirmed. I don't know yet. I would have to probably ask on the Discord channel. I just thought about it right now. But anyway, personally, I think it's safer not to change the leverage because I'm happy borrowing just $40 out of my collateral. That's good enough for me. Okay? All right. So enough about this. Let's do the actual borrowing. So we click on this button, add collateral and borrow. And what happens? We have to confirm in MetaMask. Confirm. Now what's nice about Phantom is that the gas fees are super, super low. Okay. So let's check if it's processing. So it's pending right now. Okay, it's been approved. Oh, it's been unapproved. Okay, for some reason we're getting this message after the other one. I don't know why. But anyway, we have to sign in. It says bento box here. The bento box is a technology that was invented by SushiSwap. And it's been used by Abracadabra, and because Spartacadabra is a copy of Abracadabra, they're using also the bento box. So let's sign that and see if we're getting approved or not. Now it says approved. Okay, I'm not seeing any difference. Did I add the Lambda token? I think I need to add the Lambda token to see it. Yeah, I didn't. Okay, and my 100 wrapped are still here. Okay, let's refresh and see if we need to do something. Okay, let's go back. Okay, we still don't have collateral deposited. All right, let's try it again. Okay, 100. All right, we're gonna borrow 25%. All right, add the collateral and see what's going on. Okay, sign. Okay, now we're getting signed first. Okay, let's try that. And now it's asking to confirm. So maybe it's working now because it seems that we're getting the messages in the correct order. Previously we didn't. I don't know why. So let's see in MetaMask if things are happening. So now it's cooking apparently. See, it says cook. Alright, so it's pending the cooking. I wonder if we can add the Lambda token somewhere. It's still processing. Okay, the cooking is done. So let's see. The Wrap Phantom. Okay, it took the Wrap Phantom. We should have seen them here, but I guess we need to refresh. Let's refresh. And let's go back in. Ah, now it's working. Okay, so we have our 100 tokens of Wrap Phantom right here. This is the collateral value. So this is the value of these 100 tokens. A lot of people say, well, after I deposit them on Abracadabra, or now in this case Spartacadabra, I don't see them in my wallet. Yeah, that's because they're deposited here. So how do I know the value? Well, it's right here. Look at the right side of the screen. It's on the right side. It's right here. All you need to know is right here. So, Lambda borrowed 39 point something. Exactly what I wanted to do. So that's working. Liquidation price. What does that mean? Okay. Right now, we have the price of one Wrap Phantom token, which is $1.598 or Lambda. One Lambda is supposed to be $1, so approximately $1.59. So $1.59. And right now, the liquidation price, because I only borrowed 25%, would have to be 0.4946. So it would have to drop by over $1, okay, before I get liquidated. So, and that's why I feel it's safe. It would have to be a huge, huge, huge drop before I get liquidated. And now it says here, Lambda left to borrow. So let's say, I'm not going to perform it right now, because it takes time to borrow apparently. But let's say tomorrow I decide to borrow more, I can just do it here, okay? I can just add, let's say, $20, okay? And hit borrow, right there. That's it. That's all I need to do. Not complicated, okay? So let's say that that the market is bullish, okay? And phantom tokens taking off and it's going up and up and up and up and up. And I have it here already as collateral, and I already borrowed against it. And right now we would see that the lambda left to borrow would grow. So let's say it becomes 200 at some point. Well, I could borrow an extra $200 if I wanted to. Of course, if I borrow the maximum, I'm going to be in the risky zone. So again, just use your judgment and try to stay within the safe zone. Okay? But this is how you know you can borrow more. Okay? And as you saw, it's very easy. You just type how much you want to borrow and you hit borrow and it's going to get done. Okay? Easy peasy. Alright? Now, some people say, I want to repay. Okay, first of all, let's clarify one thing, because if you didn't see the previous Time to Be Your Own Bank episodes, I explained that you never have to repay the loan. Never. Unless you want to close the position, unless you want to take your collateral out for whatever reason. Maybe you think, okay, I'm going to take my phantom out because I found a better place to invest it and make even more money. Okay? That's possible. So in that case, you would have to hit the repay button. But other than that, if you don't want to take your phantom out and sell it for any reason, okay, you don't have to pay the loan back. You can leave the loan here forever, as long as the collateral value is greater than the loan. If this gets too low, you're going to get liquidated. Now, the value borrowed here is going to grow a little bit over time, but it's only at 5% interest. So let's assume, for argument's sake, that we borrowed $100. Okay. Well, after a year, you would have to pay $105 if you want to close the position. So it's only $5, okay, after a year. So your debt is not going to grow because, first of all, it's a stable coin, and the interest rate is quite low. So it's going to grow but by a tiny amount. Okay, it's not a very high borrowing rate. Okay, so you don't need to worry too much about it unless you borrow the maximum and your loan value and your collateral value are very, very close. At that point you need to worry because you could get liquidated. If we wanted to repay this, we could go max and hit repay. Now you'll notice that this is the amount that I have in my wallet and this is not the same amount here. Why is that? If you look here, there's a borrowing fee of 0.5% and that's added here. So everything you owe is put right here. So if I want to close the position completely, I need to have more Lambda tokens in my wallet than I actually borrowed, okay? Because of this borrowing fee, and also I'm going to be charged but a tiny amount of interest because I just performed a loan, so it's probably not going to be even a cent worth of interest, okay? Because the loan is tiny. But if you were borrowing, I don't know, $100,000 after a few hours, yeah, it's probably significant enough. So you would need to have a lot more Lambda in your wallet in order to be able to pay the loan back. But keep that in mind. You have to pay the borrowing fee plus the interest if you want to close the loan. Okay? Now, what I have not done, I have not tested. I'm not going to pay it back. I want to keep the loan. If I want to pay it back using the collateral, I'm not sure if it's possible because it's not documented yet. I know it's possible on Spartacadabra, but here it doesn't seem to. Okay, typically if you want to use your collateral to repay the loan, you need to make sure you don't have any Lambda tokens left in your wallet. Otherwise, it's going to try first to take the Lambda backs and pay the loan back with that. Okay, but if you swap your Lambda, and we're going to do that in a minute, if you swap your Lambda to buy other stable coins and then to buy other tokens that you want to use as assets to earn more yield, then that would you could empty your wallet of all the Lambda, and I believe if it works the same way as Abracadabra, you would be able to pay off the loan directly out of the collateral that you deposit. To start with, let's see if we can swap our token. All right, the bug was that Curve was not connected to my wallet. Okay, so now I connected MetaMask to Curve. Now I can hit max. All right, so I've got my 39 Lambdas. And I can choose either DAI or USDC. So let's go with DAI. Don't have a problem with DAI. And we're gonna sell. So right now, the maximum slippage is set to 1%. I don't know if that's gonna work or not, because I'm not sure if there's enough liquidity or not. Okay, but let's try it at 1% and see how it goes. Okay, so I might lose 1% in the transaction. Please approve Lambda for exchange. Okay, so MetaMask, confirm. See, the gas fees are pretty low. I'm very happy about that. I love low gas fees because I'm cheap. Please confirm. Transaction cost, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Once more. Okay, the exchange. It says it was performed. Let's see. Do I have any DAI? I need to. Oh, I do have the Lambda token already. So my Lambda tokens are gone. That's good news. That's what we wanted. But I need to add the DAI. Okay, so let's do that so we can see our DAI in the wallet. So we're gonna go to CoinGecko. I'm gonna select DAI right here. Let's see if we can add the Phantom DAI. And they don't have it. Brilliant. Okay, we'll do it from Spooky then. Spooky, help me. Alright, so alright, Spooky has the DAI. Let's add it to the wallet. Perfect. Okay, so we see our DAI right there. Perfect. We've got everything we wanted. Okay, now we have the DAI stablecoin because we exchanged our Lambda for DAI. And because I want to close the loop, okay, I want to buy an asset that yields something. Okay, so there are several choices. I could buy more wrapped stake spot. Okay, that's not a bad idea. How much is it earning right now? If we go to Spartacus, go to stake, the APY is 234%, 1,000%. So why not, right? So let's do it. Okay, so we're not going to use Phantom. We're going to use DAI. And here, we're going to use Wrap Stake Spot. All right. So it says sufficient DAI balance. Okay, well, let's use my max value. All right, so we're going to use all the DAI that we've got. We approve DAI. Approve on MetaMask. Firm. Okay, and then after that, we're going to be able to swap. See, currently in my wallet, I've got 2.44 spot tokens. So it's going to go up by 0.170 after the swap is performed. Okay, now we can swap. Confirm. Okay. All right, for those that are wondering how am I going to get my Lambda token to appear in my MetaMask earlier, I forgot that we can just simply do it from here, I think. Can we? or we cannot. So yeah, that doesn't work. How did I do it? I'll figure it out at some point, and I'll let you know in the comments. Lambda, lambda, lambda. I have to think about it. Okay, so anyway, so we close the loop. Okay, now we still have our 100 phantom tokens deposited here, okay, and we have a debt here. Now I'm not going to actually repay, but I'm going to test if I could repay out of the collateral. So right now, if I click on max here, there's no lambda in my wallets. Oh, there should be no lambda in my wallets, but let's refresh, because it thinks I have lambda in my wallet. I wish this the site would refresh automatically, but anyway. All right, maybe in a future version, if the developers are listening, update that, please. Okay, repay. Let's go here. All right, notice there's no button here. There's no max button. So it won't allow us to repay out of lambda because we don't have any. Aha. Now, if we click on this, it won't allow us to withdraw because we have a loan. Can we type something here? Let's say we wanted to repay. What does it do? Cannot create, it has to be a 0. Okay. All right. Correct me if I'm wrong. You can, if you manage to do it, you can send the comments below and we'll figure it out. But it looks to me like, unlike Abracadabra, it looks to me like I cannot pay the loan back out of my collateral. Okay, so it seems to be a slight difference between Abracadabra and Spartacadabra. Okay, so because on Abracadabra I could write how much MIMS I want to repay, and it's going to take it out of my collateral, but in this case it's not allowing me to do that. So that seems to be a difference in the programming. Okay, so essentially, if you want to close your position and pay back the loan, you need to have lambda in your wallet. All right, if you have lambda in your wallet, you're okay, you can pay back the loan. Other than that, doesn't seem to be possible at this moment. They might change the programming later, I don't know, but that's how it is. So as we saw earlier, we performed the whole loop. Okay, we had some SPA, it became SPA, we had then wrapped stake SPA, we used it as collateral, and we paid we got lambda, and we bought some more wrapped stake SPA. Actually, that's wrong. Okay, no, we had phantom tokens, we wrapped the phantom tokens, we borrowed, we deposited it as collateral, borrowed lambda, and then we bought some wrapped stake SPA out of it. Okay, so that's how what we perform. But basically, we use the same strategy. We just change the original token to the phantom token. All right. Okay, so that's it for this video. If you like this kind of stuff, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell and download the free book. It explains a very easy strategy that you can use on Aave. All you have to do is put your name, your email address, hit the submit button, and then a big fat button shows up saying download the free book. Okay, if you don't like it free, you go on Amazon, you give $5.99 to Jeff Bezos, and Jeff will send me a whole $1 later. See you.